Because, fam, 29146-20129. We get y'all in law school. And that's a fact. Check the page if you don't believe us. So I'm so excited about the guest we got coming on this week. Amazing sister. Shawty believed in herself. And now she's a rising 2L at Penn State Law School. Met her in Houston. Y'all guys have an amazing story you guys are going to hear. So I'm excited to have you guys come on. Also want to let you guys know that, of course, this is for you, by you. And the whole goal, of course, is to make sure that you guys have the tips and the resources that you need to take the next step, okay? So fill our chat box up with questions. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Makin the Case, because I'm excited to have you guys here. Utilize the space to get your questions answered. Of course, I'm holding it down to St. Louis, Missouri. It's not the place where I want to be. Hell no. But it's the place where God has me. Let us know where you're viewing our session from. I see we got Chicago in the house. I see, of course, we got Penn State in the house. H-Town in the house, too. And so let us know where you're viewing our session from. I'm excited about you guys joining us, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories to help you guys take the next step in your own journey. Let's go ahead and get my girl. And also to be able to find out how she was able to break through, so you guys can learn how to break through too. What it do, Miss 2L?
Hi, how are y'all?
I think I can't hear you, sis.
Let me see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
You there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, that's me. That's me. Nevertheless, what it do, sis? How we doing?
I'm good. How are you been?
I mean, I feel like it was yesterday when we was down at H-Town Law School, and now you was talking about moving, and now you a whole grown up 2L. What's up?
What's up? Oh my God, it has been a long journey, but I can't say I don't think I would have been here because anything with God is possible. But it's been a long journey. Just navigating. You know, I'm coming from the South. It's a different type of ball game coming
You know
from.
how we roll.
Didn't really expect going through the motions and actually experiencing what I did experience, but I'm ready to get into it, talk about it, all the things that came with law school, being a Black woman in a white space, everything.
Uh, uh, well, first things first, y'all. Listen, we all family here, but let's go ahead and introduce to folks who don't know the family. Go ahead and let them know who you are, your name, where you from, and where you at.
Hi, y'all. My name is Latrice Heflin. I am coming directly from Houston, Texas, but I was born in Jackson, Mississippi. I currently go to Penn State Law in Pennsylvania, State College, Pennsylvania. I guess that's a bit about my background. Half of my life, I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. The other half, I grew up in Atlanta. So I like to say I was born in Jackson, raised in Atlanta. Somehow I ended up in Houston. Don't know. But that neither here nor there was an experience in itself. I met amazing people, including you. So yeah, that's generally my story.
And so one of the things for you guys, one of the things that we always be preaching to you guys out there is it's like when you say that you want to be a lawyer, oftentimes the blueprint of where we want to go and where we think is going to take us, oftentimes becomes something that's very limiting. Now, sis, you took a leap of faith. I remember when we had that conversation at H-Town, you were like, I'm packing up.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth does a girl raised on one chocolate city to another chocolate city go to Penn State?
Ooh. It takes a lot. It takes you have to be hungry. You have to be ambitious. Now that I look back on it, I guess I got to give myself more grace and more thankfulness that I was able to do what I was. Just to give a little background, y'all, I had 2 months to move from Houston all the way to State College, Pennsylvania. That was the hardest thing I had to do, opposed to all the other things that I had going on in my life. But it was an extreme struggle, and it's something that requires like extreme dedication to. I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I came up here. I'm not gonna lie. Give some more background. I went to Kennesaw State University in Georgia, but I was mostly online. Those who don't know, I graduated high school with my associate's degree, so I ended up only doing like 2 years of undergrad. JD don't know this, but I ended up doing 2 years of undergrad, and I just did those online. So essentially, law school was my first ever experience of experiencing a PWI and also experiencing grad school. I didn't get the undergraduate experience. I didn't get the HBCU experience, although I wanted it. So it was a real gamble and trusting God in the process of coming all the way from Houston to here.
And I mean, I just think about it like one thing I do love because we skipped the whole part, right? Because one of the things that I always be talking to people about, and I'm sure when you're a pre-law student, you saw my post and stuff, is talking about Clio. Now, of course, you went to Clio, you and Dave went to Clio and did the damn thing. But tell them about how Clio helped you and how it's a full circle moment now, because you killed Clio and now you back.
So, again, y'all, I have so many God stories. I'm gonna be so honest. This was one of those God type of moments. I saw Clio back in like a year prior, and I was just like, I don't really know that program. March, I think it was around March 2024 or 25. One of those came around, and I think the deadline was March. I went on there, and God told me, apply. I applied within, I would say, probably a week later. I received a call. I had an interview with Dominique Ma. She's no longer in the position.
Yeah.
But we had an amazing conversation. And I mean, at the end of the conversation, she was just like, yeah, there's no debating. Like, you are the epitome of what we stand for and what we want. Yeah, so I ended up getting selected for that. That ended up being an experience I never knew I needed. I ended up getting around, surrounding myself with Black people. We're all going within the same goal. I found myself in life a lot being surrounded by people who were not going in the same direction as me. It was very hard trying to navigate a life when it was just me trying to figure it out, trying to understand what route I want to take, how I want to take it, surrounding myself by like-minded people. And Clio really, really gave me the opportunity to meet an amazing group of people. I met an amazing group of people that we still talk to this day. I have a few that went to Penn State as well with me, and one of them has become an extreme support system for me. Clio has been like life-changing, honestly, for me. And it has become a full circle moment. This year, I have been selected to become a TA. So those who are accepted into the Clio program will also get a chance to meet me as well. If you haven't seen my face already everywhere, you will get a chance to meet me. We will get a chance to, hopefully I can provide the same experience that was given to me. Not hopefully, I will. I'm going to make sure that those who come forward, who come above, like come into the program, that they get the same experience. And just basically, it was an amazing opportunity. If you want me to explain a little bit more of what it is, it's just a pre-law program during the summer. I think it's about 2 months. It's about 2 months where half of it is kind of hybrid. Half of it is you will be doing like law coursework online. Basically, I think this year would be criminal law. I think, don't let me lie, torts, contracts, and legal writing, I believe that will be this year. If I'm wrong, y'all don't shoot me in the foot. But those are the courses this year. It just gets you prepared for the rigorous of law school. I think it helped prepare me for the most part of understanding how exactly you work and how you study basically. But in regards to like coursework itself, it like the environment and all of that stuff is not going to prepare you for that. Each school is different, each experience is different, but I definitely encourage it for especially minorities to go into it and get an opportunity to see something that you've never seen before or experience something you've never experienced before.
All right, for you guys who just tuned in, we're live in full effect with Latrice, 2L, Penn State, was 1L representative this year, holding it down over there at Dickinson. Dropping gems and sharing her story. Now, one of the things I want to ask you, think about it, sis, right? Like, everything that you shared wasn't easy. And it makes me want to ask, like, when you realize it wasn't easy, why'd you want to do this in the first place? I mean, come on. We see people online with OFW pages showing feet. We see people streaming a whole lot easier than saying, run me my LSAT book. You know what, man? Run me that Shit Pro book.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? This joint is hard, sis.
Yeah. I've already noticed it's hard. My main purpose for doing it is I've always came into this world knowing that it's bigger than me. It's way bigger than me. I came to serve a purpose, be of help to those within my community. Like I told y'all earlier, I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. I am the epitome of girl from the hood. I'm a wear with a crown. It's where I'm from. I don't shy away from it. I don't shy from who I am. And what comes with that is seeing different walks of life, seeing how people that look like us are treated, not seeing the representation that you need within the courtroom or within the justice system or within politicians. Anywhere you need us, the most powerful places not really seen. And I experienced firsthand of a lot of incarceration within my family. I experienced a lot of, down to my brother being incarcerated. He longer passed away, but that was mostly my encouragement for getting into law school. I just wanted to do something bigger, be something bigger, and that essentially is what drives me every single day. Not only just me being bigger, also just me being different, me setting apart from what I know. I just know I had to be different. I had to do something differently. If I would have stayed on the same track or did the same things in my family, I would have become a statistic, and I could not allow myself to be that.
And one of the things you said that really kind of hit home is I think one common trait that everybody who wants to be a lawyer, we always begin to realize quickly that we are not aligning with where we are. And I think the bold thing is being able to say that I want more. And since you said Jackson, I was like, man, because I went to Pontywood for boarding school. I was like, Jackson. So y'all folks out there don't know what Jackson stands for. It means jacking all cowards, killing suckers over nothing. What? Let them know.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you don't know Jackson, you
Right.
don't know Jackson. It's not a place that you would want to be. It's not really a place that you will see growth or any type of, success within. It's very hard to come out of, and you just have to have that different mindset. You just have to have that different mindset and just put yourself in a place where you're like, I want better. I want something different. And a lot of people come out, not a lot of people, a few people come out of it. And I was blessed to come out of it. I was blessed to see early on within my life that this is not where I'm meant to be. And I am just simply following my calling. Like, honestly, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know people may come on here and talk about God a lot, but he has truly, truly, truly been beside me. If I told you all the things that I've experienced, I've gone through throughout my life, just being the age that I am, you would say, "How are you here?" And it is simply because of God. I follow every single thing that is told to me within. I just follow it. Yeah, I do plan on once in a while, once I graduate, to go back home and do pro bono work. So trust me, I'm not just saying let me just get into this career and just leave them behind. But yeah, I always have a goal of going back home and doing what's supposed to be done, doing it right.
I totally feel you. And for you guys out there, if you feel that you can relate to what Latrice is saying, understand it's because the reason why you feel uncomfortable is because you're called for something more.
Mhm.
Why you're in a space where things may not be working out at the job is because you're not supposed to be comfortable there, because you're not supposed to be there long term. But I
Yeah.
swear, every person who I've met, and sis, I bet I can attest to it with you,
Hmm.
anybody that's wanted to go to law school and become a lawyer, it has never been great at the job that they've been working at.
Oh no, I'm so glad you touched based on that. I had to talk to a lot of up and coming pre-law students about this. Before law school, I was in banking. Um, and I was in a phase of my life where I could not let it go. Like I couldn't let the thought of not having money and not having security, I could not let that go. Um, and God made it to a point where it was so hard for me to do the things that I wanted to do. When I say that is, I got written up multiple times for studying for the LSAT. I got suspended multiple times for studying for the LSAT. And it was a point where I said I had to let this go. If this is a path that I want to take, this is a path that I know that God has for me, I have to let it go. And I can be the attest to that. The moment that I let that job go, the moment that I let the fear of security go, all the blessings came through. I mean, a month after I left my career in banking, I got a position at the DA's office. That was the best experience of my life. The week after I ended at the DA's office, I got a position at a criminal defense firm right in the middle of Houston. I mean, things were just going and going. And I can attest to the fact that if I would have never left banking, I wouldn't have applied for Clio. Um,
Mm.
so I got that position at the criminal defense firm. I mean, while I'm at the criminal defense firm, I get an acceptance into Clio. I get an acceptance into Clio. I do well. I get a offer into Penn State. Y'all see how it all aligned. I just had to take that step in saying, like, this is no longer for me. This no longer serves a purpose for me, and I have to follow the path that God is trying to put me on. So
And
I'm
it's
so glad
like
you brought.
we know it's Wednesday. You know us from the South, we go to church. So y'all about to get a little church sermon here today, all right?
Yeah.
But it made me think about like the story of Jonah. It's like
Mhm.
I had a calling for his life, and he was trying to divert. It's like, okay, God said, all right, man, you don't gonna do it. You gonna do it because I told you to. And I think
Mhm.
for a lot of you guys out there, like Latrice has dropped some gems here that you guys didn't catch, right? She was focused on becoming a lawyer. And yes, becoming a lawyer oftentimes during that process, it takes all your time and your energy. So having to balance both of them is oftentimes very, very hard. But the thing also is that sis moved with intention. She just told y'all that before going to law school, hold on, before going to law school, she had two legal experience opportunities at a law firm, at a DA's office. Sis, how did you get those? Because you know what they say in the Bible, faith without works is dead. So we know you
Mhm.
at work to get those spaces.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be so look, y'all. Anybody who come through here, I will be the most honest to you. You will not survive in this field if you do not put yourself out there.
Hold
I
on,
will
say that one
say,
more time.
I will say it again. You will not survive in this field if you do not put yourself out there. I got these two positions, starting with the DA's office. I'm gonna give y'all another background story. I got so many. I applied to that DA's office a year prior. They didn't even look my way. Um, They didn't even reach out to me. The moment that I started speaking, I started saying what I needed to those around me at the bank, saying like, this is where I want to be. This is, I love y'all to death. Like, I know y'all love me and y'all wish y'all can give me the manager position, but this is where I want to be. The moment I did that, people loved me so much that they started giving me people that they knew, giving me contacts that they had regarding things. And one of those contacts was an assistant DA at that office. I started having conversations with him. I started talking to him, and he was like, hold on, I don't really want you at the office. I want you working for me. But I was just like, hey, this is the route I want to go. This is the route I want to take. I talked to him for almost a year, like through him having a child, through him like leaving, coming back. So that time came around again where they were looking for interns, and I said, hey, remember me? And I got through that door. That's how I got through the door at the DA's office. And then you have to be strategic with the moves that you make. When I got into the DA's office, I knew for a fact that every single day I would experience a different attorney. I used that to my advantage. I knew that so many attorneys would come through that door. I found one that I liked. I liked how he argued. I studied how he argued, how he talked, how he moved the room, how he was black, all things in this white county. And I approached him. I said, I've been looking at you throughout this whole thing. My internship ends in a week, and I want to work for you. That's exactly what I said. And honestly, I kid y'all not, a week later, he reached out to me and said, come to the office. I want you to meet I want you to meet your essentially going to be your coworkers and the other attorneys that's under me. I get into that office, and it wasn't an interview. You know, I went in like it was an interview, but he was just like, no, this is not an interview. This is more like you meeting the team. And I'm going to be honest with you. I like how you came to me. I like how you approached me, and that was more than enough to know who exactly I wanted to hire. So I say that to say as a testament, you have to walk in every single space like it's yours. Walk into every single opportunity like it's yours, because it will be. And if you let somebody else take it, they will. So walk into that position like it's yours. It will be. It's so many people. I've experienced so many people in Houston and here. You know, coming here has been a different experience, but definitely being surrounded by like-minded people. Honestly, I have never met not one person who is not like willing to help. If you come to them the right way, if you come to them as yourself, not like you're trying to audition for a position. Be yourself going into this field, because it will try to mold you into something that you are not. Learn who you are first. Like, this is very important. Learn who you are first. If you don't learn who you are going to allow this season of your life to mold you into a person that you do not know. So learn who you are before you get into this. Like, take this with the utmost seriousness, because especially these PWIs that we go into we get into these establishments not really knowing what comes with it. You know, you get into an environment where you're surrounded by people that don't look like you, that don't come from where you come from, that don't speak like you speak, that don't have the zeros, have different type of zeros in their account than you do. You have to know who you are. You have to hone in who you are and stay into what you came there for. And I promise you, you're going to come out so much more, like so much better, so much like it's amazing. Like, this journey has been amazing. Like, talking to you just it's allowing me to reflect, because I'm going to be honest. Like, y'all know I'm going to be so honest with you in this season of my life. It has been very, very challenging. It's been almost like of a season in my life where I'm questioning God of, okay, what is this season for? What are you trying to teach me? He has completely separated every single thing that I have known every single thing that I have been used to. Like everything in my life is new. So I've become into this has been a season in my life where I'm like, God, what is this now? What you trying to, I know you give your toughest battles to
The
the
strongest
strong,
soldier.
but I need you to let me know what this is, you know.
And the funny thing is, as you were saying it, it made me think about that meme from Insecure. And you're like,
Mhm,
what it is growth.
mhm,
And I think the thing that's amazing, and this is one of the things that I preach to so many of you guys, and I love the fact that you've embraced it. It's just like, it is so easy for us to stay in our comfort zones, but
mhm.
there is no growth there. Latrice stepped way out of her comfort zone. I remember me and her talking about it in H-Town, talking about how we going to do this movement situation at Penn State. I
Mhm.
want you guys to be able to understand that there's so many opportunities out there. And when you're talking about building a network, can we be a buck? We're going to be family here, right?
Mhm.
The network is not just going to be with people who look like you and me. The
Absolutely.
network is going to be bigger everywhere going, and you're limiting yourself. And
Mhm.
the amazing thing is, what's been amazing for you going down to Penn State, you saw the connections that they have out there. You
Mhm.
saw the effort that, because Penn State been going hard trying to recruit y'all.
Mhm.
And I know we got my boy Neville. I think he just graduated this year.
No.
One of my
Mhm.
former students. And also, it's helped you build your. And I think one of the things that's been beautiful was help open you up to new people and
Mhm.
experiences. Yeah, it's scary, especially us being from the South.
Mhm.
You know, we come in with our preconceived notions.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
God has just really worked to break through that. And you've seen new blessings and new opportunities. But I got to ask you this question because I am a football fan. Please tell me you ain't spent a year at Penn State. Did you go to a football game?
Oh God. So like I told y'all, I'm here with other Cleo. They love Jameson loves football. So I think I went to one or two, maybe. I'm not a football fan. I go for the dancers or like for the food or for the vibes. I just go for the vibes. But I definitely went to a football game. It's not really my forte. It's not really why I came to Penn State.
And see,
Um,
I
but,
want to say this because, of course, you from Mississippi. So
mhm,
about Jackson State, she know about Alcorn. She know about
mhm.
dance and the food. And she went to Penn State. Was like, why are y'all here for?
Yeah,
This traffic is crazy.
like seriously, I go for the food only and for the vibes. I will sit there and just not know what's going on and just enjoy myself. But yeah, if football and stuff goes around, I think wrestling and all of that stuff is like
That's
known here.
it.
Yeah, it's known here. I haven't had a chance to go to like wrestling or hockey or none of that. But when I get time, I'll probably definitely next year I gotta make sure I go to the Whiteout game for sure. We missed it last year because them tickets rose up to like $1,000. But yeah, next year we'll definitely be in the room. But yeah, I don't really I guess I'm trying to like get more involved. There's definitely a lot of things that go on here, like black wise, or like I find out, and I just found this out like later this year. Like there are so many things that go on in the undergraduate campus that like you really don't know of. So I guess those who do come here, make sure you like see what they got going on there because they be having so much stuff. They had Cash Cobain. They be having like so many rappers and stuff come through. So it's a lot of stuff to do on the campus, honestly.
And
You
low key,
work hard.
Penn State cut checks, y'all. Penn State cuts checks. I know my man Neville, who just graduated, got a nice check from Penn State. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I want to ask you about is, oftentimes ask you guys, we all, for most of us, when we've gone to college, and this applies to you too, we've known nothing but success. Then we get to law school, and we try to apply the same thing that worked in college. When did you realize, like, oh damn,
This
this
ain't gonna
works? What class was it, and how did you adjust? Because I remember that I call that scared straight moment.
Woo! I knew mine came a little later. Mine came when when I saw those first semester grades. That's when I
Ooh.
um
Hey,
some gotta I'm like, something gotta change. You need to switch it up, sister. Or yeah. But I say that to say, like, do not, how can I say it? Because I feel like so many people say, like, focus on grades, 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 grades. Don't make that your all. Please, like, make sure you get, like, make sure your grades are great, but, like, do not make that your all, or you will miss out on the growth and the experience of law school. What you're supposed to be learning in law school, what you're supposed to be enjoying in law school, and the person you're supposed to be becoming in law school. So if you get honed in on that, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that, like, you will lose focus inside of what you want to do. I knew what I wanted to do coming in, so although I had a bit of a scare straight moment when I saw those grades, it was just different from what I expected. It wasn't as bad, but you have certain expectations, y'all. I was used to making like all A's. Like, you have to understand, like, it's a different grasp when you see like a different letter grade. It's like, oh wait, this is not undergrad. I got to get it together. Like, and very fast. You don't got time to be like, oh, okay, what I need to do. No, you need to figure it out fast because next semester starts in a day. So I just had to switch it up, change it up. Make sure you use your academic success dean. I think that's what they call it.
Hold on, real quick, because the thing about it is, like you said, all we've known, the first time we ever saw anything lower than B's was in law school.
Mm-hmm.
And we never used help. We never used teachers. We never went hours. We never did none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to our one else who are about to come in now, what would you tell them to do to try to avoid that oh shit moment that we all go through?
Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning seeking help. You may think, oh girl, I don't need help. Like, don't tell me, like, I'm good. I'll come into this. I'll come into it prepared. But why not come into it overly prepared? If you
gonna say that one more time.
Why not come into it overly prepared? If you're gonna come into it thinking you got it, why not actually have it? Go into it with the coach. Like, go into it with having that relationship with your academic, I think they call it dean of academic success. Go into that knowing who that person is, having those regular meetings so you have an understanding. Because oftentimes what I learned throughout this process was, even if you know the material, you have to know how your professor wants it, and also you have to know how to write that exam. So if you don't know how to format that exam or what exactly your professor wants, okay, you can know the law all day. But at the end of the day, your job is to pass his exam. And for most, it's worth all of your grade. So knowing exactly your professors, talking to your dean of academic, talking to your teachers from the very beginning, your professors from the very beginning, having those conversations of what they want would definitely set you up for success. I learned that later. It's all right. We live and we learn. But
because the thing is, I tell people, it's like this whole process of law school is just a humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to first be able to accept. This is the hardest thing for us to accept, and I'll say it out loud. I don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest thing, I don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Yeah.
And the longer you go with trying to say you don't need help is when you make things so much tougher. But when you start utilizing the resources, that's when things open up. It says, let them know, like, law school's got all the resources, but it's about to beg and tell you to use them.
Yeah. Oh, going into this, I know they say, in high school, how they used to say, like, they're not going to hold your hand in college. But then you get into college and they hold your hand a little bit. And they actually do hold your hand a little bit. But no, you come into law school, it is on you. You don't do those readings, sister, well, you're not going to pass. You don't go to office hours, well, you're not going to understand. It is based on you. And honestly, I think law school teaches you, like, not even teaches you, it challenges you. Do you really want this?
Yep.
Um, and I found myself a lot in this moment, even when you lose sight of that for, which I don't advise you to do. Always keep that for, or what am I doing it for? But even when you lose sight of that, law school is there to challenge you and see if you are cut out for this. So I said it to say, when you are going into this, or when you are, like, if you're a pre-law student thinking about enrolling, or you're going into it, literally do not go into it like you already know what to do. You already know how it's going to go. Go into it with the mindset of, I want to learn. I want to become a different me, and I have what it takes. Those three things honestly will carry you far. Just like, I had to let that guard down of, I found myself this semester, I can't tell y'all how many times I said I needed help. But yeah, and that may come from, background of us not really seeking the help that we truly deserve, but you will find that those who don't look like us is seeking that help.
Mm-hmm.
They are
No
doing
shame.
what
No shame. There you go.
Yeah, they are doing what needs to be done to get the grace that they need to succeed. So you do the same. It
One
wasn't
of the
that.
biggest lies about law school, and I'm
Yeah.
sure, I don't know why these people be saying, I ain't study.
Hmm.
I ain't read. Lying ass, they been reading all night,
Hmm.
taking
Yeah.
pills, photos. And you guys out there who may not know, man, like, life in law school is really, really intense.
Hmm.
I did not, Latrice, I didn't realize how intense it was until I walked in the library and saw somebody have a blanket and a pillow sleeping on the floor. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, this is
Hmm.
real.
Hmm.
What's some of the craziest stuff you've seen during finals where you're like, oh, okay, I thought I was studying hard. They clearly doing something else.
I'm trying to think, because honestly, I feel like we may be the crazy ones, honestly, because my class do not seem that engaged. I swear, we didn't have many nights where we were in the library until probably like 1, 2 a.m. But like I said, going into this, you have to want it.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of things I have learned and I have experienced in law school that the law, if we haven't knew this already, but the law is set up for those who don't look like us.
Let them
So
know.
you find yourself a lot going through this phase of saying, like, hold on, like, this, they are understanding this like too well. Like, I'm not understanding exactly what's going on here. And you have to find yourself doing the extra work, and that's work that you have to be willing to put in. Set yourself apart and get the grades that you are wanting to get. It's not going to be easy, especially for those who don't come from a background where they weren't handed, or they had the opportunity to learn these subjects beforehand. They had the opportunity to have tutors outside of school. Like, you have to put in that extra work if you want to get to where you need to go.
But I
Um,
want to get a buck though. Like, if you've had to work your whole life, if you've had to fight to get to where you are, like when Penn State met Latrice, when
mhm,
Penn State saw her application, the same thing with Dejanay.
mhm,
You said that word, hungry.
mhm,
They saw somebody that was going to work.
mhm,
Saw somebody that's going to say, "Bet, oh, this is hard. Okay, wipe off these tears and we're going to thug this joint out."
mhm,
And at the end of the day, I want you guys to believe, and I think you talked about it in your end promo, imposter syndrome is a real thing. But
mhm,
me saying that law schools don't do charity cases. They
mhm,
need you to be successful. So the fact that they chose you to be here,
Mm-hmm.
you are capable, because you being here wasn't by mistake. And so tell them how you were able to overcome that. Because self-doubt, I swear, self-doubt is harder than any final that
Mm-hmm.
you will ever take. That conversation that you have in your head as you drive into class, as you getting called on, or you next to the person that just got called on and you know you next.
Yeah. Um, Throughout this journey, throughout this whole year, my hardest battle was not the coursework.
Yeah.
My hardest battle was doubting myself. Um, and it's something I've recently just overcome, y'all. So I'm gonna be honest. It's something I won't say that everyone goes through. I just will say that I went through it, and I can share my experience for those who have went through it or will find themselves in that position. Like I told you all, this was my first experience altogether in person, and also JD as well. Going through this the first time, I found myself doubting myself a lot. There's nobody who looks like me. There's nobody who came from the background that I did. There's nobody who has the same work ethic that I do. There's nobody, I put so many there's nobodies in my head that I found myself somewhat in this semester being mad at the fact that I did not have those opportunities that others may have. That's in my class, or being mad at the fact that I had to work a little harder, or just overall just having the feeling of, oh, what if I cannot do this? Um, and that's a dangerous place to be. It's a very, very dangerous place to be. And I want to be honest with y'all. If you find yourself in that position, like, you need to get out of it fast. Unfortunately, I was in it for a while. I'm going to be honest. But I think the thing that made me overcome it was I had to not only go back to why I joined law school. I had to go back and look at videos, whether it was from my deceased brother, whether it was from my personal statement, whether it was from conversations with my mother, like having those personable moments to know this is why you did it. These people believed in you for a reason. You're supposed to be here for a reason. And I had to, like, say, yeah, no, you weren't giving those opportunities. No, you don't have this amount of money, this X amount of money, or you weren't blessed with those resources, but you have the opportunity to create your own. So are you going to stick into it? Are you going to stick into it? Are you going to mope on the fact that you weren't given those, or are you going to create them yourself? What are you going to do to make a difference? What are you going to do? Because at the beginning of this, going into this, Latrice, you knew for a fact that you were different. So why all of a sudden are you now questioning that? Why all of a sudden are you now moping that or making that a bad thing? Go into that room, own it. You are different. So what? Every single one, like, know what makes you different, what makes you unique. And I promise you that probably will get you in more doors than any doors that they already had opened. I guarantee you. So
Couture, I hope you are listening to this sister right now. Please listen.
yeah.
The thing
So
is, challenges are what prepare you for the next step. And
mhm,
I think the thing that's horrible, don't get me wrong, I love law school. We
mhm,
love it out. But man, it's like we have to wait almost to a degree. I feel like when we start this journey, the LSAT is our validation. Then when we get into law school, the validation is our scores. And until then, we're just in this space of uncertainty. And it's like once we get our grades, it's like, oh, okay, I'm good.
mhm.
But till then, it's just like you're just left to your own faculties to be able to believe in yourself. And I know during law school, it is so challenging because I had one of my students she wanted to go to law school at H-Town.
Mhm.
She, she was like, I'm trying to find a husband. I'm like, I don't think law school is for you, sis, because 1L year, booze and bays, unless you might, you ain't got time for that. Let them know
No.
like the level of focus that it requires. Because I tell people, 1L year, you trying to figure out how to read,
Mm-hmm.
you trying to figure out how to write, and then you over here, Miss Superwoman, you over here trying to be a 1L rep at the same damn time. So how
Mm-hmm.
about it?
Um, like I told y'all, I I can't really name how I'm able to do. I've always done too much. Always had my foot in the pot in everything. But I made sure when I got into law school that I maintained the type of person that I want to be. When I say that is, I made sure I joined, BOSA. I made sure I joined diversity committee. I made sure, I stuck to those things that I really like to do. And 1L rep was one of those things that I was like, oh yeah, nobody gonna speak. I'm gonna speak for you. So I was just like, yeah, that's me. That's definitely right there the position that I need. And going into next year, I'm just continuing that. I'm letting go a little bit because you can't hold on too much. You can't have too many positions. So
Yeah.
I'm going into next year with 2L rep. I'm going to be 2L rep. And also, I have now moved on until now I'm on the executive board of Mabosa. So I'm just, moving out of law school moving out of local a little bit and just expanding that part. But I guess just knowing exactly what you want to do and just knowing how to divide your time. Like I said in the beginning, if you want it, it will be yours.
And just deal with being uncomfortable. Understand your days of being well rested,
Mhm.
being comfortable
Mhm.
are over. But
Mhm.
the only way you're going to get comfortable is by learning. The
Mhm.
only way that you're going to is by growing. And so you can stay where you are, but there's no growth there. And I think the thing that's so amazing is like you're able to see, I'm sure you're able to see it in yourself, the anxiety that you kind of had. I mean, we talked via text. You were like, yeah, I'm about to do a final. The anxiety from those finals from the fall to now, it's like, yeah, that's done with. Now I can go ahead
Yeah.
and, for example, for you, what are we doing in 2L year? I mean,
Mhm.
what are we doing outside of, being Miss 2L? I remember when you sent me that text with the picture, I was like, okay, I see you, sis.
Mhm.
So what are you going to be doing this summer outside of TAN? Because you don't know how to rest. You always doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Mhm. Absolutely. I do not know how to rest. I love working. So outside of being TA for Cleo, and also outside of getting into my position for Mabosa, I will also be a a judicial intern for the Harrisburg Common Court of Pleas. So that would be my primary job.
And tell
This
them real quick about what Harrisburg is, just in case they don't know who Harrisburg is.
Harrisburg is like it's. How do I explain Harrisburg?
Trying to say Harrisburg is where judges and
Mhm.
judges, they made history a couple years ago when like
Mhm.
1, 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12 judges, black women
Mhm.
judges were appointed at the same damn time.
Mhm. So I will be there for most of the summer for about 2 months. After that, I'm going to kick my feet up with a pina colada somewhere in somewhere in Puerto Rico or somewhere in Mexico. But I need a break. But definitely that will be my jobs this summer. I'm also trying to get another opportunity, but like I told y'all, I work myself to death. We will see if they come through. But yeah, that's mostly what I'll be doing. Any free time that I have will be spent working.
And
Um,
a couple of links. I saw some scholarship opportunities because we can always get some coin
mhm,
in our pocket.
mhm,
But
mhm.
You know, man, just think about it. Like, I guess almost after your finals now, it's like a full circle moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit back and be like, dang, you know, I've really grown and evolved. Even though you look at your legal writing from when you first started and you look at it now, like, oh man, I really sucked back then. Over this process, you know, you learned a lot about yourself. You learn how to evolve and grow. You learn how to be critical of yourself and also hold yourself accountable and also give yourself grace. I think for you, that was one of the hardest things. Giving yourself the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
And think about all those ups and downs that you go through in this process, you know? And you know, right now, because you were in this situation last year, right now, waiting to hear from schools, you don't know what to do. Either one, you got rejected, either one, you got waitlisted, ghosted, got scores back, scores ain't the best, took the JD next still ain't hitting, and they thinking about quitting. And I want to give you the flow. We Wednesday, the South, to go ahead and give them a word of encouragement because I think, man, like this journey, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Our boy Neville just graduated from Penn State Law.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years later, we sit bar prep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the ups are amazing, but getting to those ups, you have to weather these storms, and sometimes people need strength. So I'm giving the floor to you, preacher.
So I'm just going to start off with saying, think about life. Think how you have gone through life and the challenges that you have faced. Everything that came easy, was it really worth it?
Mm.
Everything that came hard, did it feel fulfilling? Um, so when you go into this, if you find yourself giving up or wanting to give up, one, continue to think about what is the reason you want to do it in the first place. And also for those, even if you're not religious, I'm going to say it always. Hone in on what God is trying to tell you, where God is trying to take you. Because honestly, I think we focus too much on this not being our time. Opportunities are not coming in right now. Maybe He is trying to direct you in this season to learn something differently. Maybe He is trying to prepare you for that season that you are wanting. So maybe you have to have the moment where you take a step back and say, God, what are you trying to teach me in this moment? What are you trying to prepare me for? Because honestly, I look back on my life. If you don't know, I took two gap years before I even started law school, and I look back on it like I was in the same position that you all were, and I was just like, why aren't things happening right now? Why aren't things moving how I want them to move? And now that I look back on it, I would not have been prepared for this. Whether it's the environment, the rigorous, the everything that comes with law school, you just don't know what God is preparing you for and what He is making sure you are ultimately ready for when you become an attorney at the end of this. So instead of honing in on the fact that you are not getting opportunities, you are not hearing back from something, hone in on the fact of what is it that I need to do to hear those acceptances? What is it that I need to do to get to the place that I want to get to? Instead of focusing on the negative, focus on how you can better yourself to get to the next position. That is the only thing that I can tell you, because if you continue to focus on you not getting or being where you want to be, you will never be where you want to be. So focus. Talk to God, and trust the process. The process is the process for a reason, because at the end of this, you have to be prepared into going into this field, because yes, look in the mirror. You are Black. Most of you are Black. Most of you are minorities. You are going into a field that does not look like you. You have to be prepared. Not only knowing the law, knowing how to work the law, but you have to be prepared what comes with it. and you don't know the ultimate and the things that God is doing behind closed doors to prepare you for those things, to just better you all in general. Those who might be on the waiting list might be hearing things like, don't take you being on the wait list as a rejection. Do what needs to be done to get
Hold
the
on.
door.
I to say that louder because I do be having some folks that think that they just supposed to lollygag and just wait. Can you please let them know that in order to do stuff, you got to get active? What do you mean? Come on.
No, do what you need to do. Uh, um, Going into this law school journey is basically like you are selling yourself, right? So just see a wait list as someone saying maybe. Like I told y'all, you have to have a different type of mindset going into this. So what type of person will you be? Will you take that maybe as a no, I'm gonna give up? Or will you take that maybe as, oh, let me show you why I need to be in your school? What type of person will you be? If you're going to be the type of person to give up and let it defeat you, you're not ready. You're not ready for this. You're not. If you see a wait list and you see it as failure, a maybe as I got another chance. So ultimately, you have more than what someone that has a no has. Use that opportunity. Use it and don't lose it. You have someone saying maybe. So you have that maybe, be like, okay, walk in that room and be like, okay, I'm going to show y'all why that maybe should have been a yes. I'm going to show you why I am the only thing you need. Not one of the things, the only thing you need. So just, yeah, believing, it ultimately comes down to believing in yourself. How bad do you want it? So if you see a withdrawal, or you see the the whole as, oh, they just don't want me. Well, yeah, I don't really have advice
Yeah.
for your kind. I don't give advice for that. All I can say is blessings to you. But for the people who actually want to go through this, experience this, and go into this field, see that as an opportunity to show them differently. Because obviously it's something that they are questioning. They shouldn't be questioning. Tell them, no, this is not a question. There's no doubts. I belong here. And show them why.
And I don't know what else to say after that because I think that's said what needed to be said. Sis, I'm going to hit you up later. You guys out there, understand this journey is hard for a reason. It's hard to grow you. It's hard also to make you become hungry enough to be resilient enough to overcome it. And it's hard so once you leave that you can thrive in it. So understand it and embrace it. Sis clearly has, and that's why she's doing the damn thing. And she came on here because she wants you guys to thrive and win too. You guys continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. We're praying for you. We're rooting for you. You are not alone. She said, holla at her. I said, holla at me. So listen, continue to fight. We're here to help you along the way. Latrice, you want to say something before we out?
Yep, I'm gonna say this one thing. This is. I think this is my motto. Y'all write this somewhere on whether it's your tablet, your notebook, whatever. Going into this, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Put that how you will, take that how you will, but I ultimately take it as every step that I go into this, I have to be okay with the fact that this is my process, this is my life, this is my season, and this is the route that I'm going to take. And it's going to come with uncomfortability. It's going to come with things that I'm not used to, and that's okay. In order to get where I want to go, in order to be differently from what I know, I have to do differently. So if you are expecting to do the same things that you are used to, the same things that you have saw, you will get the same results. You have to do something differently. And different requires you to be uncomfortable. So in order, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's all I gotta say. It has been great, great, great having a conversation with y'all. If y'all haven't already, follow me. If you got any questions, I promise you I'll answer them. I'm not going to leave you on bread or whatever. It's summertime now. Now, when I go on vacation, but till then, hit me up.
All right. Blessings, guys. And continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. We'll see you same time next Wednesday. Peace out.
Bye.